Hey everyone, good evening. This is Rajesh. I'm going to speak about e-AGM, electronical AGM. As a company secretary, we would have seen that annual general meeting, extraordinary general meeting. But this is quite different. This is e-AGM, electronical AGM. Normally, people divide the period between BC and AD, and politically people divide pre-World War and post-World War. Economically in India, we divide pre-LPG and post-LPG, that is liberalization, privatization and globalization. And today we are seeing pre-COVID and post-COVID. Does the people life, get change in all the manner? From the greetings to the meetings, people get change in all the manner. The way of life also get changed. A statement goes, change is the constant. There is no any other words other than that. The style of business is also getting changed. Consequently, the regulators are also modifying the same and the regulations. So I'm going to talk about today in this video an important regulatory measures which is taken by the Ministry of Corporate Affairs, which converted the business approach. Online meeting of the board, online meeting of the shareholders. Online meeting of the board. Most of us, we know that board meeting which is conducted by all the companies through video conference. Yearly it was excluded that 4 items of transaction which we cannot do that online board meeting. But now due to this COVID situation, the regulation which has come, so as per the regulation we can conduct the board meeting. The only challenges which we are seeing is, do we record or do we need to record the board meeting? Yes, of course. There is one regulation which I would like to quote in 3C of the company's meetings of the board and its power rules 2015, says to record proceedings and prepare the minutes of the meeting. Some people are asking the doubt, do we need to record the committees of the meeting? I feel, it's my personal opinion, no. We need not to record the minutes of the meeting. Why? Because the provision says only to record the meeting of the minutes. That is not required for the committee meeting. Committee is formed on behalf of the board. So committee meeting, as per my knowledge, there is no requirement of recording it. Then there is one question raised here. Roll call. Why do you mean a roll call, and what do you mean by that, and why it is necessary? Generally, a roll call is an exercise done during the fire drill which is happening in the industry by the lead. What is basically actually? It is a head count whether all the people are available or not. Similarly, a roll call need to be done in the board meeting where all the directors are available or not. So it is basically done by the chairman, or on behalf of the chairman, even a company secretary also nowadays they are doing it. Now coming to the point. Now we are going to the AGM, that is e-AGM. So quite different, every time, every year the company secretary facing the challenges on, different provisions, regulations keep on coming there. Now the MCA and SEBI has given a relaxation for conducting the annual general meeting in online through video conference or other audiovisual means, OAVM. So there the provision says that in this connection we received 3 circular. That's a major 3 circular which we are talking about. One which has come in first circular number 14 dated 8/4/2020. Then second circular which has come on circular number 14 8th April 2020. Then third circular which has come on circular number 17 13th April 2020. When we talk about the e-AGM, obviously this all connected with this 3 circular. I'm just going to give the gist of the circular. I'm not going to explain very briefly, as you all know about the circular. So what is the first circular speaks about? The intention of the circular is to provide the clarification on passing an ordinary resolution and special resolution under the Companies Act 2013 in case of emergency. That circular has been divided into 2. One is for the company, those who are compulsorily required to give the e-voting as per the Companies Act section 108. Another part is which is not false, the companies which are not false under that. Every company which has, see 3A, what it says that, you all know about that, what the section 108 says, so I need not to brief on that. Procedure for e-AGM which is given in that, because this is the basic, I can say that this is the root of this entire e-AGM. VCOAVM, that is video conference, other audio visual means. The recorded transcripts, the very main things which I am going to say about that. The recorded transcript shall, as soon as possible, completion of that e-AGM should be available in the company's website. All care must be taken by the company so that two-way conference and the ease of participation of the members, including convenience of different person positioned in different places, different zone, keeping in the mind before scheduling the meeting. Some of the tips which can be helpful for you to conduct the e-meeting. And the participants are allowed to post questions concurrently. Very important point here is the plus point. I could say that it is a plus point for the company secretaries as well as to the company, that the shareholders, the company can decide in advance and fix or reserve 7 days advance or 6 days advance or 5 days advance. It depends upon the company. They can decide on that when the what we can say that given time to submit the question in advance. So the shareholders are allowed to raise the question, or if they want to participate in the question, they need to send a mail to concerned department so that they will reserve it at the time of online video conference or OAVM. So they only the people or the shareholder, those who are registered, they are allowed to speak or to raise the queries or questions. So that that facilitates the companies to restrict the number of participants in the e-AGM two-way conference. Otherwise, the shareholders may not be very comfortable with the e-software, so it will be difficult for them. To avoid such things only the provisions has been made. The next one, such facility must have a capacity to allow 1,000 members to participate on first come basis, first come first served basis. Why this has kept? Because we cannot keep open for everyone. Normally physical AGM, what will happen, once the shareholders comes 10 o'clock the meeting starts, then if the quorum starts, quorum has come and immediately they will shut down the room. Therefore the other people are not allowed, so unnecessarily disturbance will come. So the first come first basis on 1,000 members is allowed. After that they will not be allowed. However, out of this 1,000, some people are excluded, like promoters holding shares more than 2%, institutional investors, KMP, chairperson. So these people comes under the panelist. Basically there are two things. We have the CDSL platform as well as NSDL platform. CDSL platform and NSDL platform using the different ways like Cisco, Webex or Zoom or something like that. So they allow that panelists and shareholders. So shareholders cannot see other shareholders, whereas panelists can be able to see the other panelists. Similarly, the shareholders can see all the panelists, whereas panelists cannot see all the shareholders. Only those who are registered earlier, they can able to look into that. Now that all the things, apart from that, the facility for joining the meeting shall be kept 15 minutes prior to the scheduled meeting. Say for example 10 o'clock is the scheduled meeting. By 9:45 that entire content should be ready so that whoever want to participate or shareholders can join into that meeting. And very important, e-voting. So far we learned that remote e-voting and poll. Now no poll is available. Remote e-voting or venue e-voting. E-voting has been classified into two: remote e-voting and venue e-voting. Remote e-voting, as you know well, 3 days prior the day it starts and ends by remote e-voting before to that AGM day. On the day of AGM, venue e-voting starts, and until completion of the AGM, after post that 30 minutes it will be available. So the shareholder, those who are not casted their vote in that remote e-voting, they can cast the vote in the venue e-voting. So these are all the things which is available and need to be facilitated by the company. So here, what is the role of CDSL and NSDL? CDSL and NSDL is a platform which is providing e-AGM, to conduct the e-AGM facilities to the shareholders, because they are the depository participant. And apart from that, one of the feature is required that at least one independent director and auditor shall attend the meeting. Apart from that, these people all comes under the panelist, where the institutional investor members of the company, they must be encouraged to participate and to vote on the remote e-voting. The notice for the meeting shall make disclosure the clear. Very important point is that the notice of which we are giving to the shareholders in that annual report, that notice should contain this entire procedure, that how they are need to be joined, how they need to be remotely voting, and why this e-AGM is conducted. Everything should be disclosure, proper disclosures should be given, along with the instructions shall be given. The company shall provide a helpline number also. In addition to that, the company should provide the helpline, technical helpline to the shareholders, those who are participating in the last moment. Now we are coming to the second part. Whatever I have said is applicable for the listed company. For the unlisted company, how it is? So unlisted company or the public company, those less than shareholders, less than 1,000 shareholders, they can conduct the online AGM, but however with the certain exemptions are available. The company shall provide the designated email, because since there is no e-voting concept here, so the company has to give that designated email ID. They should create a separate email ID, so that at the time of polling or at the time of voting, that shareholders can send their views, or they can send the meeting of that particular meeting, they can associate with that, and they can give the resolutions for or against, whatever it is, they can be sent. During the meeting held through VC, where a poll on any item is required, the members shall cast their vote on such resolution only by sending the mail. So they cannot put a voting or something like this, the mail. So the user ID password for that particular mail, the company has to keep. It is the company responsibility to keep it safely there. Then second circular, I am talking about the second circular. This circular especially covered on manner and mode of issue of notice to the members. Okay, this AGM is okay. How I'll serve the notice, because there is no postal services and other stuff. Here it has come. The notice can be given only through the emails registered with the company. So this is a very plus point. So we need not to send a physical notice. So now question has come. What we can do for the annual report? That is not covered in the circular. Then we need to give the public notice in the newspaper saying that they need to register their email ID. So most of the members are not yet registered their mail ID. So they need to register the mail ID. That is the reason why they are saying in this newspaper. And procedure for company which are not required. Similar provisions, the company shall try to get the members, because less than 1,000 members list, definitely the company will be having that number of members and address and others. The companies has to try to get that mail ID of each member and need to send the register mail ID through that notice of AGM. And if they are not possible, then at least they need to publish in the newspaper about this procedures. Then coming to the third circular, which is relevant to this, clarification of AGM through VC. So far we have seen that EGM and how to send. EGM means extraordinary general meeting. I am talking about EGM and how to send the notice to this shareholders. This two circulars as covered. Now the question comes to the companies and stakeholders, and what about the AGM? It is also going to be fall under this COVID situation. So the clarification of AGM through which has come in third circular number 20, dated 5 May 2020. There again it is divided into two. One is for the company, those who are need to conduct through the e-voting. Another company is apart from that. Here the procedure for company which are required to provide the facility for e-voting under the CA Act of 108 section. The framework provided in circular is very simple. So whatever circular which says in the first and second, mutandis for conducting the AGM. In this circular, annual report copies. Very important thing is, so in the previous circular what it says, the second circular what it says, the third circular says about that annual report. Even an annual report we need not to send to the physically. So here we can send that all the notice as well as the annual report, full set of annual report, soft copy to the shareholders. So the liability of the company to print is null, and the liability of the company to share the any annual report physically, if shareholder asks also, we can deny, saying that this circular references. So we need not to send any hard copies of annual report. So soft copies of annual report along with the notice also we can be sent only through the email. But we should be consider that 21 clear days that it is there. Before sending the notice of copies of it, public notice, that is also important. Before sending this annual report, we also need to be communicate through the newspaper, vernacular newspaper, where about all the annual report will be sending only through the registered mail ID. That communication should be given. So in that notice, public notice, the following restriction also, following procedure also should be given. Like statement at the AGM will be conveyed through VC, date and time of the AGM, availability of the notice of the meeting on the website, the manner which the members who are holding shares in physical form, how to join in the VC, the manner which person who have not registered their email address, how they will register their email ID, the manner in which members can give their mandate for receiving dividends directly, that is also need to be given. Any other detail if it is company feel, that also should be given in the public notice. In the circular, not only decide or discuss about notice, annual report on the e-AGM or e-AGM through the video conference, but it also discuss about the dispatch of the dividend. So most of the shareholders, if you see that dividend, they are not updated their bank. So NEFT is not possible, NACH is not possible, net banking transfer is not possible. So for them, those who we are giving, normally we will give the dividend warrant. So that also sent through the postal. For that also exemption they are given 30 days. Normally 30 days, within 30 days the company need to pay the dividend. But here they also given that once postal service, when if it is get to the normalization, so at the time the dividend warrant can be dispatched. So it is convenient for the company, they can do relaxedly there. In the circular, an option also provided conduct the AGM physically. Very important point is, suppose if the company want to conduct the AGM physically, what we will do? Yes, the answer is here. They can conduct the AGM through the physically, provided that getting the appropriate authority approval. With the regulator, local authority approval, and based on the COVID situation, normally that procedure is there. Based on the procedure, they can conduct the AGM. However, even conducting the AGM physically, they need to conduct the they should provide the facility for the e-AGM also, so that they will participate. This is the only option is given, so the company has to choose. But I would recommend that, this current situation, conducting the physical AGM is very I don't suggest. So it is normally they can go for the online e-AGM. Then procedure for companies, I think I have covered everything. A very important thing, other than the e-voting companies, AGM may be conducted through facility for the VC, especially for the Nidhi company, like the shareholder, those who are less than 75%, or some companies will have the quorum only for the private companies, they can conduct through the physical AGM itself. So I have covered everything. With this, I am completing this session. We will meet in the next session. I will brief you that on the AGM, what we have to do it, how to prepare that the entire content for the AGM. Thank you very much. Goodbye.